The Arrivalet was a quiet night in the small town of Ridgefield. The sky was clear, stars shining bright above. People were at home, resting after a long day. Some were watching TV, others were eating dinner. Everything felt normal, until the sky lit up. A strange light like a falling star flashed across the sky. But it wasn't a star. It moved too fast, too low, and it was heading straight for the nearby forest. Dogs started barking. Power flickered in houses. Car alarms went off. People came outside looking up. The light crashed deep into the woods with a loud boom. Birds flew away and the ground shook. Jack, a 22-year-old mechanic, stood outside his garage. He wiped his hands on a cloth, watching the smoke rise from the forest. He felt something strange. Something was coming. Something not from Earth. What the hell was that? His friend Sam asked, running over. I don't know, Jack said, grabbing his flashlight. But I'm going to find out. Sam looked nervous. Are you crazy? Probably, Jack said, already walking toward the trees. Deep in the forest, the air was thick with smoke. Trees were burned, and the ground was black. Something had landed. Something big. Jack moved quietly, hiding behind trees, his heart beating fast. Then he saw it. A black spaceship like nothing he had ever seen before. Smooth, sharp, and glowing with blue lines. It hummed with energy. Jack stepped closer, staying in the shadows. A door on the ship opened. Steam poured out. And then she walked out tall, strong, wearing silver and black armor that covered her body. A long blade on her back. Glowing eyes. Not human. The alien warrior queen. She looked around slowly as if scanning everything. Her voice echoed through a small device on her chest. It turned her alien language into perfect English. I am General Kalara of the Ziran Empire. I seek the strongest warrior of this world. Jack froze. Others started arriving. Soldiers, police, news reporters. The queen didn't move. She stood like a statue, waiting. A commander stepped forward. This is private land. You need to... Before he could finish, the queen moved. Fast like lightning. She knocked him down with one hand and sent his gun flying. Soldiers raised their weapons, but she raised her hand. A wave of energy pushed them all back without killing anyone. I mean no harm, she said. But this is the rule of my people. If your champion defeats me in combat, I will leave your world and offer alliance. But if I win, Earth becomes mine. Panic spread. People shouted. Someone tried to shoot. Again, she stopped them without effort. She wasn't just strong. She was in control. Jack watched all of this from behind a fallen tree. His mind raced. Who was she? Why now? And why offer a fight? The queen walked to the center of the field. You have 7 days, she said. Bring me your best. If no one comes, I take your planet by right of silence. She returned to her ship and the door closed. Soldiers tried to chase, but an invisible force stopped them. Nothing could enter the ship. News spread fast. Across the world, people watched the footage. Some called her a god. Others called her a demon. Many were afraid. But some were excited. Jack sat alone that night, staring at the stars. He felt something inside him. Not fear, but curiosity. Why did she smile before she entered the ship? It was small, but clear. She had looked right at him. The challenge, the world, was no longer the same. It had been 2 days since the alien warrior queen arrived. Her words still echoed in everyone's mind. Bring me your strongest. Defeat me in combat, and you may claim me. Fail, and I claim your world. Her ship remained silent in the forest, covered in a strange energy shield. Soldiers surrounded the area, but they could not enter. Satellites watched her ship from space. Every country sent their best minds to figure out who, or what, she really was, but no one had answers. Governments were in panic. News channels played her message again and again. The world held its breath. In the middle of this chaos, Jack was just a name on no one's list. He worked alone in his garage, fixing, Broken cars, eating instant noodles, and watching the world prepare for war. He was not a soldier. He had no special skills, no fame, no power. But he had seen her. Up close. And he couldn't forget the way she looked at him. She didn't see fear in him. She saw something else. The search begins in the third day. The UN announced a global challenge. Any fighter, soldier, or warrior could apply to face the Queen. The winner would represent Earth. Thousands applied. Top Emma champions, military elites, even underground fighters. They were sent to secret training bases. Jack watched it all on TV, shaking his head. They don't understand, he said to himself. This isn't just a fight, it's a test. Jack's obsession. Jack couldn't sleep. Every night he replayed the moment in the forest. Her speed, her power, the way she moved. She was more than just strong. She was controlled, precise, like she'd done this many times before, and the way she avoided killing anyone. That meant something. He started searching online, digging into strange forums, old sci-fi blogs, military leaks, anything that talked about aliens, warriors, ancient legends. He found a hidden thread. It had no name. Just a post. She is the Queen of the Ziran bloodline. Undefeated. She offers the challenge not to conquer, but to test. If a human wins, her fate changes. Jack leaned forward. What fate? What happens if she loses? A stranger arrives the next day. Someone knocked. On Jack's garage door, a man in a black coat entered. Tall, older, with sharp eyes. He said nothing at first. He looked around as if measuring Jack's life in seconds. You were there, the man finally said. Who are you? Jack asked. Someone who knows what she is. Jack stared. The man continued. I saw your name on a surveillance list. You didn't run. You watched her. And she looked at you. That means something. Jack frowned. Why are you here? The man tossed a small device on Jack's table. It lit up, showing footage of a battle, not on Earth. Alien creatures, fire, swords made of light, and the Queen, younger, angry, surrounded by fallen warriors. This is her past, the man said. Her people sent her to challenge other worlds. It's how they choose their leaders. If no one defeats her, she remains queen. But if someone wins, she loses the throne, Jack whispered. And her freedom, the man added. She wants to lose, but only to someone who truly earns it. Someone not just strong, but smart, brave, unpredictable. Why tell me this? Jack asked. Because the people training now? They will lose. They fight like humans. But she fights like something more. And I think you see that. Jack looked at the screen. The Queen stood tall, breathing heavy, blood on her face, but not broken. He saw something in her eyes. Pain. The decision. That night, Jack stood outside his garage, looking at the stars. He picked up the device and made a call to the emergency line set up by the Global Challenge Council. This is Jack Ryder, he said. I want to enter the challenge. There was silence on the other end. Then a voice replied, You're not even on the list. Put me on it, Jack said. You have 4 days left, and no one else is going to beat her. The Queen awakens inside. The black ship, the Queen, stood in silence. Her armor glowed softly. Her blade rested beside her throne. A screen in front of her showed dozens of fighters training, all human. She watched without emotion. But then, her screen flashed. New challenger, Jack Ryder. She raised one eyebrow. The boy from the trees, she said quietly. A small smile touched her lips. Finally, training begins. The world didn't believe Jack Ryder. He was not on any army list. He wasn't a champion. He was a mechanic from a small town. So when his name was added to the official challenger registry, the media laughed. The alien queen wants our best, they said. Not a boy with a wrench. But Jack wasn't listening to the world. He was already on a plane. Not military, not government, but private. Arranged by the same old man who had given him the strange alien footage. His name was Colonel Kane. He didn't work for any country. He worked for a secret program, older than the internet, buried deep underground. The Black Room, the plane landed in a desert, far from any city. Jack was blindfolded and taken into a dark bunker. He heard the sound of steel doors, humming machines, distant voices. They entered a long hallway lit with blue lights. At the end was a room called Black Cell 7. Inside were strange weapons, heavy armor, and training machines unlike anything on Earth. Colonel Kane stood in the center, waiting. "Welcome to your real training," he said, "and your real war." Jack looked around. "What is this place?" "This," Kane said, "is where we prepare for what the public never sees." "Aliens?" "More than that," Kane said. "Visitors, watchers, conquerors, protectors. They've been coming here long before Queen Kalira." Jack walked to a screen. It showed old video clips. Not movies, but real footage. Strange creatures and shadows. Fire in the sky. Burning cities that never made the news. "Why train me?" Jack asked. "Why not send one of your soldiers?" "Because she didn't choose them," Kane said. "She chose you. She looked at you, smiled at you. That means she saw something even she can't explain." Training day 1. The first day nearly broke Jack. Combat training started before sunrise. He had to fight machines faster than any human. He had to wear gravity belts to move under pressure. Every fall left him bruised. Every move was tested, but he never quit. He was slower, weaker, but smarter. He learned quickly, adapted. An instructor, named Rhea, was assigned to him. She had scars on her arms, a steel eye, and a voice like thunder. "You are not a soldier," she said. "But you could be something better, a fighter with reason. That is what she fears." "Does she fear anything?" Jack asked. Rhea looked at him serious. "Only herself." Learning her weakness as days passed, Jack studied the Queen. Kane gave him everything, her old battles, her movements, her armor structure, her energy source. He noticed something strange. She never used full power unless she had to. In every fight she moved like a dancer, beautiful but careful. She was protecting something, her armor, not just metal. It was alive, bonded to her body. But it had limits, cracks that closed slowly, energy that dimmed after long fights. Her armor heals, Jack said, but not fast enough. Rhea nodded. "Find the cracks. Make her defend. Force her to bleed energy." Jack smiled for the first time. "I can do that." Midnight visitor on. The third night, Jack woke up sweating. Something felt wrong. The air was cold, too still. He walked into the hallway and stopped. Someone was there, not human. A figure in silver armor stood in the shadows, face hidden, not Kalira but similar, thinner, watching. "Who are you?" Jack asked. The figure tilted its head. A voice echoed in his mind, not through sound, but through thought. "You are the variable. She does not understand you. Be warned. If you win, it will not end." "What does that mean?" Jack whispered. "Victory changes her fate, but it also wakes her enemies." The figure vanished like smoke. Jack stood alone, heart racing. The Queen prepares miles away. Inside the black ship, Queen Kalira trained in silence. She moved through the air, her blade flashing like lightning. Alone. Perfect. Her armor responded, to every breath, every thought. But she was not calm. Her mind kept returning to Jack Ryder. He was not like the others, not proud, not loud, not afraid. She had seen a look in his eyes, not challenge, not anger, but curiosity. And something, deeper understanding. "What are you, Jack?" she whispered, staring into the darkness. Behind her, a voice spoke from the shadows. "You are growing soft." Kalira turned sharply. Her second-in-command stood there, masked in silver. "He is nothing," the commander said. "Just a human." Kalira narrowed her eyes. "He may be the only one who sees the truth." Final test back in Black Cell 7, Jack stood in the center of a training circle. Kane and Rhea watched from above. His final test. Face a machine designed to fight like Queen Kalira. Fast, deadly, precise. He didn't win with power. He won with tricks. Mirrors, wires, sand, movement, redirection. He used her strength against her, forced the machine to overheat, made it punch a wall, not him. The machine shut down. Jack stood, breathing hard, bleeding, but smiling. "You think you're ready?" Rhea asked. Jack looked up at her, wiped the blood from his lip, and said, "I don't think I know." First contact, the world stopped spinning for a moment. Billions of people were watching the same thing. Every screen on Earth showed one name. Challenger confirmed. Jack Ryder. Combat in 48 hours. No one expected it. Not the soldiers, not the fighters, not the leaders of nations, just a mechanic. Now humanity's only hope. Some cheered, some cried, others were angry. But the Queen did not laugh. She watched the announcement inside her ship and whispered one word. Finally. The final day, Jack sat alone in a dark room under Black Cell 7. No more training, no more questions. Now it was only silence. Colonel Kane walked in and placed a small box in front of him. Inside it was a custom-built suit. Not armor, but something better. Lightweight, reactive, designed to help him move faster, hit smarter, think clearer. Made with alien tech, Kane said. But it'll only work if you do. Jack nodded. Slowly. "How much time do I have?" 24 hours, Kane said. "After that, the fight begins." Jack looked at the suit. "Does she know everything?" Kane hesitated. "She knows more than anyone. But she doesn't know you." Her last memory, inside her ship, Queen Kalira stood before a wall of light. Images floated in the air, holograms of her past victories. Some planets had turned to ash, others bowed before her. But one image didn't move. It showed a child. A small alien girl with white eyes, standing alone in a glass room. Her face was sad, lonely. Kalira stared at it for a long time. Then she spoke softly to the ship. "Lock personal memory archive, prepare for combat." The lights dimmed, her armor awakened. The blade on her back hummed with power. She walked to the center of the ship and waited. The arena they chose, the wastelands of Utah, a dead zone filled with old canyons, dry wind, and silence. Perfect for a fight that could break mountains. Soldiers built a large combat ring in the middle of the desert. No walls, no rules, just space and eyes. Hundreds of cameras were placed around it. Satellites hovered above. Reporters were kept miles away. Only drones were allowed close. A voice echoed across the world. Earth versus Queen Kalira. One-on-one. Combat. Begins in 1 hour. Jack arrived by helicopter. He wore his suit, but no helmet. He wanted to see her with his own eyes. He stepped into the ring. Dry wind hit his face. The silence felt like pressure. Then, a shadow moved across the sky. Her ship descended silent as a ghost. It hovered above, then released a beam of light. She appeared in the center of the ring, taller than Jack, armored, glowing. Her eyes met his. He didn't flinch. The first words, the Queen tilted her head slightly. "You look different from the others." "I am," Jack said. "Not stronger," she added. "No," Jack smiled. "Smarter." The crowd watching from around the world held its breath. Kalira's blade slid from her back and locked into her hand. She raised it slowly. "Last chance," she said. "Step away. Live a quiet life. Let your people surrender with honor." Jack bent down, picked up a handful of dust and let it slip through his fingers. "You don't really want me to step away," he said. The Queen paused. Her lips curved just slightly. "Correct." The battle begins. The ground shook as Kalira dashed forward faster than a bullet. Jack rolled to the side just in time. Her blade cut the air where he had stood. He flipped backward, keeping low. His suit helped him stay quick, not match her, but escape her. She spun, blade slicing, each strike faster than the last. Jack dodged, ducked, used the environment. Rocks, sand, dips in the ground. He couldn't win by force. He had to outthink her. Kalira paused after 10 strikes. Interesting, she said. You read patterns. I'm a mechanic, Jack said. It's what I do. Mind over muscle, Jack reached into his suit and threw 2 small pods. They exploded into smoke, mixed with sand. The arena filled with fog. Kalira slowed. Hiding will not save you. I'm not hiding, Jack said from somewhere in the mist. I'm studying. A sudden hit from behind. Jack landed a punch to her lower back. She turned fast, slashing, but he was already gone. Another hit. To her leg. Her armor shimmered, reacting. You're testing my limits, she said. And you're protecting something, Jack said. Kalira froze for just a second. He saw it. A hidden weakness. He had guessed right. Her armor was strong, but not everywhere. Near the joints, especially the back of her knee and the left shoulder, the energy was thinner. Not weak, but vulnerable. Jack used his environment again, rolled under a rock ledge, grabbed metal, shards, and threw them at high speed. She blocked most, but one scratched her exposed joint. Her armor sparked. She stepped back, eyes glowing brighter now. No one's ever made me bleed, she said. Jack looked at her calmly. There's a first time for everything. The Queen's rage something changed. She dashed again, but now her strikes were wild, angry, faster, harder, less controlled. Jack got hit, once in the ribs, once across the arm. He fell, gasping. The wind knocked out of him, but he smiled through the pain. I was right, he whispered. You're not just testing me, you're testing yourself. Kalira stood over him, blade ready. Why don't you fear me? Jack looked up, eyes clear. Because you're not just a warrior, he said. You're someone who wants to lose, but only to someone worthy. The weakness dust floated in the air like ash. Jack lay on the ground, blood at the corner of his lip. His suit was damaged. One arm wasn't moving right, but his eyes never left her. Queen Kalira stood over him, her blade glowing, her armor sparking at the joints. Her breathing was steady, but her hands shook just slightly. For the first time in her long, undefeated life, she hesitated. You should be afraid, she said. Jack coughed, forced a grin. I'm too tired for fear. Kalira narrowed her eyes. Then, slowly, she stepped back instead of striking. She lowered her blade. She didn't understand why. This human, this boy, had touched something inside her that no enemy ever had. He had seen her weakness, but not the one on her armor, the one inside. The crowd falls. Silent around the world, the audience was frozen. Commentators stopped speaking. No one expected this. The alien queen had paused the fight. What's happening? People whispered. Is she thinking? But those who watched closely, those who knew battle, those who had studied warriors, saw the truth. Jack Ryder had cracked the queen's mind. The flashback. A queen in chains Kalira stared at Jack, but her thoughts drifted far. A memory surged forward. She was a child again, locked in the ceremonial halls of Zirin Prime, the warrior planet. Her hands were small, her voice quiet. But her blood, royal, they trained her from the moment she could walk, not to be kind, not to lead with peace, but to conquer. Every test was pain, every lesson, survival. She had killed her first opponent, at the age of 7, not by choice, by order. A voice echoed in her mind, an old command from her mother, the empress. A queen who loses is not worthy of love. Only the undefeated may be free. So she had never lost, until now. Jack stands again back, in the arena. Jack pushed himself to his feet. Every part of his body screamed, but he stood anyway. You still want to fight? Kalira asked. I never wanted to, Jack replied. But you need me to. A strange look crossed her face, confusion and something else. Grief? Jack continued, his voice low. You're not trying to rule Earth. You're trying to escape your throne. The words struck like a blade. Her armor glitched again. Her blade lowered further. Enough, she said, stepping back. You don't know anything about me. I know pain, Jack said. I know what it's like to be told who you must become. I know what it means to wear a mask so long, you forget your own face. Kalara turned away for just 1 second, and in that second, the sky changed. The shadow above a black shape appeared, above the arena. Not her ship. Something older. Darker. A structure that looked like a fortress, but alive. It floated without sound. No engines. No light. Just presence. Colonel Kane, watching from a hidden base, stood up with a pale face. We've seen that ship before, he whispered. But only in the lost records. It's the judge. Rhea, standing beside him, said quietly, It's watching her. Kalira's Kalara looked up. Her face changed. Not anger, not power, fear, true fear. Jack noticed it instantly. What is that? She didn't answer for a long time. Then she said, It is the one who owns the crown. The watcher of the bloodline. It comes only when a queen is about to break. Break what? The code, she whispered. If I lose here, it won't let me live. Suddenly the challenge wasn't just a game. It wasn't about Earth. It was about her survival. Jack looked up at the shadow, then at her. You wanted to lose, but you weren't allowed to. Kalara nodded once. I still want to. Plan in motion. Jack took a deep breath. His mind spun fast. Then we make it look real, he said. Kalara looked at him sharply. What? We give them a show. I'll beat you, but you'll fall in a way they can't trace. No cameras will catch it, no code will be broken. You vanish before the final blow. Kalara frowned. And you win? You escape, he corrected. I survive. Earth survives, and you get a second life. For a long time, she said nothing. Then her armor split slightly, opening the hidden energy lines underneath. Strike me once, she said, in the right place. And the system will think I died. Jack raised an eyebrow. Where? My left shoulder, she said. It holds my identity core. Jack's breath caught. You're trusting me with your death? I'm trusting you with my freedom. The final act, the arena shook as the fight resumed. Kalara attacked again, faster, stronger. But it was fake. A dance. A play. A storm with no wind. Jack rolled, dodged, then leaped and aimed the shard of her broken blade he had picked up from the ground. It struck the left shoulder, exactly where she told him. There was a burst of blue light. Kalara screamed and fell backward. Her armor cracked. Her body vanished in light. All cameras shut off, and the black fortress above the arena turned away. The Truth Jack Ryder had become a legend. Within hours, the world declared him a hero. News channels called him the mechanic who saved Earth. Cities lit up in celebration. Children wore fake suits like his. Songs were written. Statues were planned. He didn't feel like a hero because he knew the truth. Queen Kalara wasn't dead. She was free, but on the run, and something worse was now awake. The aftermath after the fight, Jack was taken to a private hospital under heavy security. His body was covered in bruises, cuts, and burns. His ribs were fractured. One leg was nearly broken, but he refused rest. I need to talk to Colonel Kane, he said again and again. Finally, Kane arrived. He didn't smile, didn't say good job. He looked tired. More tired than Jack had ever seen him. You did it, Kane said flatly. Jack shook his head. You know what happened out there. You saw the signal. Kane sat down beside him. Yes, I saw the ship, and I saw her disappear. She's alive, Jack said. Kane nodded. And they know it. Hidden transmission that night. Jack was moved to a secured base deep under the Rocky Mountains. Only a few people knew it existed. Only a few were allowed to speak. Rhea met him in a control room. She wore a black coat now. No armor. Her face was pale. We picked up a message, she said. Short, encrypted, came seconds after the Queen vanished. She played the audio. It was in an alien language, but the translator worked. Subject Kalyra marked compromised. Initiate next air. Awakening Vessel 9. Destination, Sector Blue, Terra. Jack felt cold all over. Next air, he asked. Another. Queen? Rhea said. Or worse? Maybe not even a queen. Maybe something built only to destroy. Where is Kalyra? Jack sat alone later, staring at the stars from a digital screen. He didn't just want answers, he wanted to see her again. She had trusted him, risked her life, shared her pain without words, and now she was alone. Or so he thought. Suddenly, the screen blinked. Static flashed. Then, her face. Kalyra. She looked different, weaker, tired. Her armor was gone. She wore simple robes. Her hair was loose, but her eyes were the same. Jack, she said softly, if you're hearing this, it means I'm alive but not safe. I'm hiding in a zone outside the Ziran grid, but they're hunting me. The signal glitched. You must prepare. The blood code has activated the successor, not a queen, not even a person. It's a weapon. An ancient one. Built to burn planets. It obeys no rules. Only the signal. It's coming for Earth. You think you won. But this was only the first door. The message cut out. Jack sat still for a long time. Then, he stood. We need to find her now. The enemy wakes in deep space far beyond any telescope. A planet cracked in half. Floating above it was Vessel 9. Not a ship. Not a being. Something between both. It had no face. Just a glowing orb of red energy inside black metal limbs that moved like liquid. Inside its core, it processed one signal. Kalyra. Failed. Execute Sector Terra. Erase. The vessel turned and began its journey toward Earth. Truth. Behind the throne, Rhea and Kane opened the archives for Jack. Ancient data, locked files, stories even the world's top governments had buried. Jack read about the Blood Queens, warriors created not by birth but by ritual DNA merging, combining minds of past leaders with new hosts. Kalyra was not the first. She was just the latest soul in a long, cursed line. Each queen was meant to fight, win, and rule. But if she showed weakness, she was removed. Permanently. The system didn't allow failure, but Kalyra had done something no queen ever had. She tried to lose, and now the system had sent a replacement, not to rule Earth, but to destroy it. Jack's decision. Kane stared at Jack. You did what no one could, but you made her human again. Now the real war begins. Jack nodded slowly. Then I'm not done. You're not a soldier, Kane warned. You won't survive a second fight. Then give me something better than weapons, Jack said. Give me a way to find her. Kalyra's final gift in a secret chamber. Jack was handed a cube, alien, glowing. She left this for you, Rhea said. It only opens for your voice. Jack touched it. The cube opened, revealing a small light orb. And her voice. If you come looking, follow the star that doesn't move. It will lead you to the edge of my world. But be warned. What waits there was not made for mercy. Jack closed the cube. I'm going, he said. A new queen space was silent, but in the silence, something ancient moved. Vessel 9. A machine older than memory, forged in the darkness of a dead star, flew toward Earth like a storm without sound. It didn't travel with engines, it folded space around itself. Gravity bent in its path. Planets blinked in its wake. Its mission was clear: burn the world where a queen fell, leave nothing behind. On Earth, the skies had no idea what was coming. But one man did. Jack Ryder. Jack's journey. She stood on a stolen craft, a hybrid of human tech and Xeran code. Small, fast, and unstable. Kane had warned him, "You have one shot. Once you leave orbit, there's no way back unless she helps you." Jack didn't hesitate. He left Earth behind, eyes set on the stars. He followed Kalira's last message: follow the star that doesn't move. For hours, the ship flew through wormholes. Strange shapes passed by the windows. Dead worlds, floating ice beasts, broken satellites that once served alien empires. And then, he saw it. A black moon, floating above a red gas cloud. No lights, no signals, just silence. And something inside. Kalira. The queen in exile. He landed on the moon's surface. Everything was still. No life. No heat. Inside a cave made of dark crystal, he found her. Queen Kalira, sitting in meditation, eyes closed, a faint glow around her skin. She wore no armor, just a simple white cloth. She looked at him before he spoke. "You followed," she said softly. "Of course," Jack replied. "Why?" He stepped forward. "Because you didn't just save my world, you saved me too, and now we need to save both." She looked away. "I'm no longer a queen. I have no army, no power." Jack knelt beside her. "Then become something new." Rise of the warrior Kalira led Jack deeper into the moon's core. There, hidden for generations, was a chamber of rejected warriors, lost queens, broken champions, fallen before they could rise. But one room still glowed, a throne made of black stone. "This throne was built for the one who breaks the chain," Kalira said. "The first to fight not for control but for freedom." Jack looked at her. "And that's you." She stared at the throne. "Not alone." She placed her hand on a crystal. Her old armor, broken from their fight, floated into the air. But it changed. The metal reformed, thinner, faster, mixed with white and red light. Her new blade wasn't sharp. It was pure energy, shaped by will. Kalira became something new. Not queen of conquest, but queen of choice. The final enemy arrived. Earth's skies darkened without warning. Vessel 9 entered orbit. No sound, no heat signature. Satellites turned to dust. Entire communication grids failed. Only one warning remained. A pulse sent to Kane's base. Vessel has entered kill phase. Cities across Earth saw it. A black eye in the sky. Rhea stood in the war room, eyes wide. "Jack, you better be close." The return Jack's ship blinked into orbit. Behind him, Kalira, flying with no armor, just energy wrapped around her like wings. Her hands glowed with power older than stars. The world watched. She had returned, but not to conquer. To protect. Vessel 9 reacted instantly. It fired. A beam of red fire shot toward Earth, enough to split a continent. Kalira moved faster than light. She caught the beam in her bare hands. Screams echoed around the globe, but she held it and turned it back. The sky exploded. Jack's final play. Meanwhile, Jack flew under Vessel 9's body. His suit was upgraded, a gift from the throne, Moon. Small but powerful. His mission: reach the mind core. Insert the override crystal. Shut the weapon down from within. He dodged plasma spikes, magnetic storms, and gravity waves. Every second pushed his body further than ever. Kalira cleared a path above, her fight shaking the stars. Jack reached the core chamber. It wasn't just a machine inside. It was a soul. Trapped. Screaming. A failed queen, twisted into code. "Help me," it whispered. Jack didn't hesitate. He placed the crystal. Light poured out. The machine screamed. The end, or the beginning. Vessel 9 cracked open from within. Kalira slashed the core with her energy blade. It exploded in silence, stars blinking around the blast. Earth watched it burn and cheered. Jack drifted through space unconscious. Kellyra caught him, held him in her arms as they floated above Earth. "You did it," she whispered. His eyes, opened, weak but alive. "We did it." 1 week later, Kellyra stood before the United Nations, not as a queen, not as a ruler, but as a protector. Earth had voted. She would not be feared. She would be honored. She offered peace, and Earth accepted. In a hidden chamber deep in space, a figure watched from a throne made of black glass. Not part of the Xeran Empire, not part of Vessel 9. Older, deeper, smiled. So, the mechanic and the queen survived. He turned to the shadows behind him. "Prepare the council. The age of humans has truly begun."